What's up, guys? So the other day, I got into a game with Bardinette, who is a US streamer that plays like roaming Bard top lane, where he just won't lane top and he'll roam and try to impact the map. Kind of similarly to the Janus strategy that was really strong a few seasons ago. But he's in NA for a month, and he actually got into my game, so I thought I would give it a chance, and it was terrible. So I tweeted, it's not a big deal that we lost. I thought it was kind of funny. But I tweeted, yeah, this Bard stuff is worthless. Go back to EUS. And then I put the 100 emoji and the fire emoji. I thought it was kind of a funny tweet. I only have like 400 followers on Twitter, so I didn't like expect anything, but it actually blew up and has almost 500,000 views. So I thought it'd be interesting to make a video because I actually have my POV of the game recorded. I would, maybe go through the comments of the Twitter and address some of the comments because people were, a lot of people like hating on Bardinette because his playstyle kind of sucks. But a lot of people like to glaze him because, he does climb. But in my opinion, once he hits Challenger MMR, it is like kind of impossible for him to win. And that's why, if you look at his OPGG, he really only peaks Challenger. I don't know how many times he has peaked Challenger, maybe like once in US. As far as I know, like he's only peaked Challenger once on US, and right now he's 542 LP Grandmaster on NA, which is not bad. And I'm not saying that he's a bad player or that his strategy completely sucks. But once you play against Challenger players, it's like a completely different environment, and those top laners can actually abuse you and win the game for free. Before I review the game, I just wanted to look at a few of the comments with you guys. So a lot of the comments were obviously flaming Bardinette, but some of them were actually flaming me. So I wanted to, read a few of the comments, and then we could go into the game and discover what I did wrong, what he did wrong, or, if the strategy was even worth playing around. First comment here. Turns out when you let the enemy top laner become Jesus, the game becomes hard. Who would have guessed? And I mean, that's true. Playing against Fiora, if Fiora gets free farm, it's pretty hard to play against. And then we have, the number one rage baiter on Twitter says, it's almost like you're supposed to play around the second support and gank with them. Keep that in mind the next time he's on your team, little bro. I don't think this person like watched the game, so they just made a random comment. Excellent rage bait. This guy says, not to be that guy, but... And then he posts the fact that I'm Challenger with a 51% win rate, and that Bardinette is Grandmaster 500 LP with a 67% win rate. I thought this was kind of interesting because my account actually ended last season ranked 25. So every single game I've played has been against, high elo players. And his account is a fresh silver account, which has been playing against silver, bronze, gold, plat, diamond players all the way up until, the past 50, 60 games. So obviously it's a little easier to have a good win rate and climb through low elo. And then this next comment says, jungle and top abyss, no? A volley having more form and KP over a champ with the fastest clear in the game is insane. You should be first in every play. Although I don't think you win because champ is garbage. But having personal support on roaming mid should always be advantageous. A lot of, loaded statements there. I would say that having personal support on roaming mid should always be advantageous is probably not true for every case scenario. I think it'd be more advantageous when Fiora unloads 4,000 gold worth of items onto your team at 20 minutes. But that's just my opinion. But then, guys, I took the rage bait and I said, not going to argue with bad players, but you can just watch the VOD. I was up 20 CS when he personally ruined my game. And we'll look at that, guys. We will look at that. But then he says, sorry, good player, but I still see a bad pick. Your fault. Against their team, trying to force bad plays when you don't win them ever, instead of free farming mid or forcing better plays. Maybe you're not as good as you think. Don't ask me why I replied, but I said, you're clearly silver, bro. I picked, and don't ask me guys why I replied again, but I said, you are clearly silver, bro. I picked Zed into Swain Volley, which is perfectly fine with Black Cleaver. I was 4-1 early game, up 20 CS. Instead of randomly saying things that don't make sense, maybe watch the game and give your silver analysis. Please timestamp when I force a play. So I'm offering him, to watch the VOD and actually give evidence behind his allegations that I was making these mistakes. He says, I love the good old argument from authority fallacy from League players, trying to massage their own ego, undermining valid arguments, and trying to appear genius when it's their own fault. LMFAO. This exact logical incapability is why you sucking that particular game. So this guy really tried to sound smart in this one, but again, so he just made up a bunch of things about the game, said that I made these mistakes without watching the game, and then says that I'm not addressing his valid arguments. So we will address his arguments by looking at the game. And then he says, keep up crying and flaming on Twitter while you massage your ego. It will sure help you get better. I mean, valid. I guess I was crying a little bit. I thought it was really useless playing with this Bard, so I posted a little tweet. That is my bad. I'm sorry for being a little crybaby. So here someone replied to me and said, he's Chow on EU West. What are you baffling about? So first of all, guys, let's try to, you know, substantiate this guy's claim. So if you look at his US account, he's Diamond 1 right now, obviously, because he decayed. His peak this season was 373 LP Masters, and he finishes Masters every single season. I don't doubt that he did hit Challenger, but, you know, I feel like there's a big difference between hitting Challenger once and then dropping out of it, than staying in Challenger the whole season and finishing Challenger. And I'm not saying that hitting Challenger isn't impressive. It is very impressive. There's still a difference. Like, you're not playing with Challengers the whole time. You're playing with Grandmasters to get to Challenger. And then, you know, once you get to Challenger, you're going to have to start beating Challengers consistently to keep climbing and stay in Challenger. Anyway, I replied, that has nothing to do with this guy comparing win rates of accounts that number 1 started in Bronze MMR, number 2 started with rank 25 MMR. So this other guy that posted the screenshot said, my post wasn't even focused on the win rate. Guy peaked 200 LP below you with half the games played, playing the same tier average for past 50-ish games. It's exactly what I was saying earlier. Most of his games were in silver and gold. His past 50 games, he has a negative win rate. So I just replied, I can explain these things to you, but I cannot understand them for you. And then Mr. Nobody also claims here that, I mean, dude is picking Zed versus Fiora, Volley, Liss, and Swain. And he swears to God he's not at fault here. It's not like he's even trying to put any thought into this game. It's very interesting because I believe that Mr. Nobody's not putting any thought into his statement here, because I didn't pick Zed into all those champions. I picked Zed into Volibear and Swain. Anyway, guys, enough yapping from me. We're gonna go look into the game and, you know, VOD review it. And we're gonna see all the mistakes that I made, all the mistakes that my team made, you know. We're gonna go through it unbiased. I mean, I can't say unbiased, but, you know, I am gonna admit the mistakes that I make, but I truly do believe that this strategy was the reason we lost this game. So let's go into it. So I'm gonna pull up on the screen right now the ranks of the game. So I'm Challenger, our mid laner, who's autofill top laner, by the way. So our Cho'Gath was actually top, but Bardinette asked, he got mid lane autofill, so he asked him to swap. So we actually have a Challenger top laner who is now playing mid lane autofill. So that's already kind of like annoying of a problem. It's playing Cho'Gath mid, which is, you know, a decent pick, I think, if you know how to play it. So it's, you know, it is what it is. I think our team comp is not too bad. But yeah, so I'm Challenger, our Cho'Gath Challenger. I think there's a few Grandmasters and like a few Master players in this game. But importantly, the enemy team has a Challenger Fiora. So we're going to see how this strategy stacks up against a Challenger Fiora. So yeah, since I have Bard, I'm going to start my blue buff and path down. I could have potentially invaded with my team. I don't know if it would have been really worth it. Like, it's not like our level 1 is that much stronger than theirs. We would have numbers advantage. But I think it's fine for me to just full clear down and make sure that I'm bot lane level 4, you know, for the play that we're going to make with the Bard. And I see that Volibear is kind of doing like a weird path, and he's covering his bot lane, and he's pathing up. So this should be perfect for us, right? Like, you know, ideally we would have a level 4 dive set up for bot lane. Okay, so Bard like harassed bot lane, and now I guess he's walking back top to catch the crashing wave. I'm just full clearing. I will say, guys, I'm not the best Zed in the world. I'm just practicing this champion because I do believe that he's really strong. I've seen a lot of Koreans play it. So once I learn him, maybe I'll make a guide for him too. This is like my 5th Zed game. I mean, I have a lot of Zed games in the past, but like it's my 5th game like now, you know, ever since he kind of people started playing him jungle again. Let's see, now I'm like, now it's my bot lane timer. But there's no play because Bard is, I guess, like the way he syncs up his timers by catching that top wave and then coming back is, it's not really a dive timer for us. There's not much I can do with this Bard roam. And Volibear's just on the top crab. Like maybe if we crash the next bot wave, like I'm like kind of looking here because they're fighting. But I see that it's nothing. And now my Bard is leaving again. Which I thought was kind of weird because like you know, this is kind of the timer as well for... You can see that their bot lane is kind of contesting the wave. I did flash there. I didn't need to flash. I thought that Swain would E me, but he didn't really E me in time, so I probably could have lived. But anyway, so I know that Volibear started his wolves, so I ping his wolves. Now we see him. So I know exactly where Volibear is. I got a kill, so I'm pretty happy now. You know, to all the comments saying like I should have played around my Bard's strength, his support is my personal support. I haven't really seen him sync up with any of my timers. Honestly, like, is it a problem with his strat so far, or maybe he's just needs to work on his like timers, or like, I don't know, are the timers even possible? Because I mean, he has to catch that top wave when it crashes, but that makes him desynced for the top, like a bot lane play with me after my full clear. I mean, guys, I'm not hating him. I'm literally just giving my thought on it. I kind of was thinking about skipping this camp to respond to the mid lane play. Something you should always do as a jungler is, you know, if there's a play happening near you, you should drop your camp and just go to it. Didn't look really real. Right now I'm just thinking like, we should probably stack dragons, so I'm definitely thinking about doing the dragon here on this timer. Once again, Bard is not with me, so my personal support is top lane on this timer. Which, he spent a lot of time top lane here. And we're still down 2 plates already. But I get another successful gank, get my Jinx another kill. Or 1 kill for her, 1 kill for me. And obviously, since, you know, Volibear pathed up, he started to be done with his full clear, and he should be starting the Void Grubs as soon as they spawn. So we're going to trade Void Grubs for the Dragon. I don't really understand, like, maybe the strategy would be better if you swapped at 4 minutes so that your bot lane could fight for the Void Grubs, because don't Void Grubs kind of counter this strategy? Because now the Fiora is going to get 3 Void Grubs for free, and she's probably going to be too strong for us to even fight the second Void Grubs. You know, unless our mid laner gets really strong, I guess, or if we swap. You know, if I had voice comms with my team, maybe I could have shot called us to swap, and that would be better. I'm not sure. But now Bardinette is bot lane as my topside camps are spawning, so I'm probably going to have to play for their bot side camps, but my Bard is recalling now, so I can't really stay here. So this recall now, I kind of have to gamble. I have to gamble the fact that Volibear is not on my Gromp in blue, because my tempo is a little bit off. My camps have already spawned. So I'm gambling that he's already not taking this. And I kind of need Bard to walk with me here to fight. Okay. So the gamble paid off. Thankfully, in this situation, the Volibear didn't already take my blue and Gromp. I think probably the correct play would have been to cross map. Like, my Jinx is full HP recalling. We probably should have cross mapped, taken all of his bot side. Maybe I could have pinged my Bard to not recall. The thing is, like, I'm kind of going along with his plan. So I feel like, you know, if you're playing this in solo queue, you should be using your pings pretty actively, because it's your strategy. You know, no one else is familiar with it. But now that I'm looking back at it, maybe I could have used my pings to command my Bard to stay. And we could have invaded his blue side and then dove bot lane 4v2. That would have been decent. Instead I had to, you know, I had to pray that Volibear wasn't good enough. But I mean, the Volibear is master, so he didn't take my topside camps. So praise be. Happy Easter. Okay, so I'll do my next full clear. At this point in the game, I really just want to get to my Eclipse Power Spike, so I instantly recall here. There's no play for me. Again, on my full clear timer, Bard is not here yet. Honestly, he can get there pretty fast. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I misclicked and stopped my recall here, so I actually did waste 8 seconds. So, it's probably my first major mistake of the game, is that misclicking there. think I was like picking my nose and I accidentally clicked on a button or something. But so maybe I could have been 8 seconds sooner to this mid play. But realistically, I don't think it ended up mattering because I'm here now. Actually, it does matter. I probably could have killed this guy instantly. Instead, I have to flash ult. Actually, a pretty big mistake. That me not recalling there. That's insane. But we still get the kill, so it actually ended up being fine. I'm just down. I'm down my flash. That's the only difference there. And maybe I would have had my ult and a lot more health, and I could have dove bot there. Pretty big mistake, actually. I wouldn't really call it a mistake, though. I literally don't know how I cancel my recall. I literally misclicked. Like my pet. So anyway, so now, like people are saying, you know, I should have been farming mid lane for free, because with this strategy, I can actually farm a wave. So here I am. Obviously, I can't farm mid lane because my Cho'Gath hasn't left mid lane. But I am farming top here. So those people commenting on my Twitter actually probably didn't watch the game, because here I am. Boom. I'm actually going to get another wave. You see, guys, I'm not stupid. I am Challenger. I'm not stupid. So I don't really understand like these Twitter analysts that are silver. Yeah, so by the way, here, I kind of got baited by my team's pings that they were on the way. They were not close enough. And yeah, as you can see there, so instant replay, you guys here. A Bard portal is here. So I go into the portal, and Bard Qs and stuns me. So completely ruined the fight there, unfortunately. But that's okay. I mean, that's not like an issue with his strategy. That's an issue with his gameplay, or like, you know, his micro. You know, micro mistakes are whatever. You know, there's kind of like game losing here. That's nothing to do with his strat. I get a little frustrated. You know, my Bard killed me. Unlucky. That's okay. You know, I just respawn. Dragon is spawning. They just got Void Grubs. So, see that we're fighting mid. Bounce right back. We get a kill on the Senna, which means that we can actually take this dragon. Just make sure that they're not walking in. Do the dragon here. So now we have 2 dragons. I mean, that's a win con. Jinx is pretty fed. That's a win con. So, you know, the plan should be ideally to keep playing around the Jinx. So, I'll do my camps here. My Bard is pinging that we should dive bot lane, so I'm following his pings. Misses his Q. I mean, that's another micro mistake, I would say. But we get the kill. But finally, he, you know, I guess he's made one play here on my timer, which resulted in a kill. So that's pretty good. I go for his blue buff. Volibear goes for my blue buff. So my strategy here is just to stay bot side. Play for my Jinx. Make sure that Swain doesn't enter back the bot lane, while my Jinx just hits the turret. So Swain does try to get back. Make sure to punish that. We're actually up 7-4. Like, this game doesn't look so bad. I'm 3-1-3. My Jinx 4-0. Or is she 5-0? I don't remember. Senna dies again. I'm 4-1. But remember, guys, now Fiora's bot lane, because guess what? She took their tier 2 top tower. Stops my recall. Unfortunate. I get my components for Black Cleaver since they have a lot of health on their team. And here we look for a fight. Almost one-shot the Volibear. I probably shouldn't have ulted Volibear here. I thought I could kill him for free. But for some reason we didn't get any CC on him. But my team keeps going for the Fiora. I just did not have the resources to follow up. Maybe I could have tried to kill the Fiora after the Bard ult. This is a little overforced by us, to be honest. Now, can't really get my camps. Just gotta try to survive. And so, well, what happens here is, I'm not really sure. It's like that play went pretty terribly. I think my Bard died. Yeah, so he died fighting Fiora. He walks straight back on the map, and he's already here. And he goes for this fight. This Cho'Gath is 1v3ing right now. And my Bard walks in a 1v4 and dies. My Jinx has to burn flash. Like, this is just a classic like solo queue thing where one thing goes wrong and your team just chain feeds. It's really important if you can, you know, recognize that your team made a mistake and you stop fighting for a second. So here, like, I mean, honestly, like, we just got Senna for free there, so I don't know why we're still going. Our Jinx is with no health, no flash. Yeah, I mean, this is like, I mean, it's kind of, like, Bard is trolling. He says Jinx is one, but, like, he kind of did the same thing, like, 20 seconds ago. So, I think, honestly, like, the fact that my entire team just ran it down like that, pretty game losing. So, that's not exclusively his fault. It's not his strategy's fault. I just think they're not really good players. So now the third dragon is spawning. But I want to get my level 11, so I do these camps. And I'm pretty strong for this. I do have Black Cleaver on base. Fiora is probably like 2.5 items right now. And Bard, this is another concept that, you know, honestly, if Bardinette is watching, he should learn this. So like our win condition is Jinx, right? And it's probably like Leona, Bard, Cho'Gath stunning someone for Jinx to get her a reset, and I'll I'll dump my combo to try to kill the first person and get my Jinx a reset, and then we can run them all down. But what we need for that is Bard to connect with us. I don't know why Bard is playing on Cho'Gath's side, because we need Bard to be mid lane on this wave with us so that we can push the wave and then we can walk in and contest the dragon together. But Bard is like pretty much throwing the game by walking bot lane. So this, again, this has nothing to do with his strat. I just think that has to do with his lack of knowledge of, you know, how to play these fights, how to set up these fights. So I don't know, he just goes bot lane and then Fiora just goes on him and somehow one-shots him. So now, you know, we can't really contest. And then my team proceeds to feed. They try to fight even though our Bard died. Realistically, guys, when you're in a situation like this, you know, like, because the Bard died, we should try to cross map. Like, if you know you can't win a fight, you shouldn't go into the fight. You should try to get as much as you can out of the fight by, you know, taking their topside camps, taking their Herald. But here I go for a little desperate play on the Swain, but he had flash. So unfortunately, I just got desperate here. That's my mistake. I should not have done something so risky, so I die. I say just awful players because, I don't know, I felt really like weird that my team just kept fighting when we were down numbers. Kind of the number one fundamental of League of Legends, to fight when you have more numbers. Jinx gets dove under her tier 2, so even though Jinx is still the win con, you know, she's making mistakes like that. She should just be mid lane, but it's hard when you don't have a third person to farm waves, you know? At least I get this top wave for free. But we can't sit around and pretend like, you know, getting waves dropped everywhere is good for the game or healthy. And get another top wave, so I mean, I guess I'm happy. I say I cannot carry you guys, you made me homeless. That's honestly how I felt this game. Not really sure what I can do. Keep farming. So now we're 5-manning mid lane. It's never a good sign when you're forced to 5-man mid lane, trying to get something done. You know, it's not like we can side lane. We have a Cho'Gath into Fiora as our side lane, and the other side lane obviously is empty because we have Bard. Here, I'm just hovering mid lane to try to make sure that they don't dive my Jinx. Do my red buff. They get Oddcon here, so it's a free level for their whole team. Just enhance. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Oddcon enhances their Void Grubs, so they have 6 grubs with enhanced damage to towers. And again, we're 5-manning mid lane to try to get a tower. I don't know how I didn't kill this. I guess I missed my Q. That's my bad. She did get healed so much. And while we're 5-manning, if Fiora is going to get her second tier 2 tower of the game, she's almost 3 items. And we're getting dove everywhere. Yeah, at least we got an execute on the Sadra. It's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, the game is kind of just unplayable now. And I'm really failing to see where I missed timers to sync with my board. Honestly, the way League works, it's not really my job to sync with the board. I think it's his job to sync with me. Here, I mean, the Volibear's, you know, overplaying his time. So, I make a play on him. So, boom. I just killed their Volibear, 44 seconds, and 24 seconds on Dragon. So, 44-second death timer, 20 seconds on Dragon. So, all we need is for us to 5-man the Dragon, and oh. Would you look at that? Bardinette recalls in a really weird spot and dies. I don't know, like, maybe his strat isn't that bad, but he did get solo killed by his Fiora like 4 times. Completely preventable deaths. But also the strat is terrible because the Fiora has all of our towers. So I don't know what to say, like. You know, I feel like when you play this strat against a challenger top laner, if they're playing the right champion like Fiora, it's completely unwinnable. That's just how I feel. You guys can agree or disagree, but I'm challenger, and that's how it is. Like, and this is what it feels like to jungle with this. Like, I genuinely don't understand. Like, people on Twitter saying like, oh, like, you know, a better juggler makes this work, or it's good if you're a better jungler. And I feel like I made a lot of plays this game. Like, I have 10 out of our 11 kill participation. So I've contributed to every kill we have, except for 1. And I think Bard was like a major part of one of those kills. I mean, now, like, the Swain is scaling. It's kind of unplayable now. He just gets a triple kill. Fiora is completely untouched in all these fights because she's 3.5 items. And, yeah, I mean, it just looked kind of cooked. You know, I try to do something here. Getting dove under my Nexus. I'm really curious if you guys have any comments down below for, you know, all my major mistakes this game. I definitely, like, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I did make mistakes. You know, I made micro mistakes. I think Bard made some micro mistakes. But the whole point is, like, I mean, I just think his strategy sucks. Is it good enough to get Grandmaster on NA? Yeah, is it good? I mean, is it good enough to peak Challenger? Possibly. You know, if you're good enough, like, you're good enough to be Grandmaster, I think, you know, it's definitely possible that you can peak Challenger. I don't know what the LP cutoff was when he peaked Challenger. I doubt it was very high. But that doesn't mean it's, you know, going to work in Challenger. If you peak Challenger, you still have to start, now you have to start playing against Challengers to climb. And this Challenger top laner made this strategy look terrible. So I just killed their Volibear again. You know. This game, I think, especially feels bad for me because I definitely feel like my impact was much more than Volibear's impact. Since, you know, he didn't do anything early game. And I actually got a ton of kills for me and Jinx. So I'm not sure, like, you know, if jungle had anything to do with this game. As you can see, on all my full clear timers, the Bard was not connected with me, like early game. So I think that's like supposed to be the advantage of this strat. Is like early game, we're supposed to be connected on my timer bot lane so we can 4-man dive bot lane. At least that's what makes sense to me. But yeah, I mean, it just looks cooked. I think we should probably lose the game here. Yeah, let me know, guys, what you thought. I just wanted to share with you guys what it feels like to play with this strategy. No hate to Bardinette. Well, a little bit of hate, but like, you know, I don't really care. I thought it was interesting to play with it once, but it is terrible. So that's all I have for you guys. Let me know in the comments if you liked the video or if you disagree with me, and I'll see you guys next time.